Welcome back to another video, folks. This is going to be super exciting, and in this video we're going to be talking about creating custom overlays for the GoBox Studio. With this powerful feature, you'll be able to add your personal touch to your live streams or recordings. So let's get started. Here I've got an app loaded. This is called Figma, and in here I've brought the original overlays and call to actions in here so that you can take a look. This is the original full screen, the half screen, and the lower third, the lower screen call to action. We've talked about it, how to replace it. In here, I'm going to talk to you about how to create them and make them to your liking. And then here we have the overlays. These are the lower thirds, and these show the name of your name in here, as well as this is for yourself and your guests. So I'm going to be walking you through how to change it up and clean this up, make it your own. All right, so let's go ahead and create these squares. So I'm using an app called Figma. This is free to use, and you can export transparent pings without having to have a paid account. So let's go ahead and create our frame. This is going to be 1920 by 1080. So you set up your frame as 1920 by 480. You can have a fill of a white color, or you can completely remove the fill. I like to keep the fill while I'm designing stuff inside it. Let's go ahead and bring this image inside here. This is going to give me an idea of where this is going to be located, because when we export this entire screen, this is going to remain in this same position down here. All right, so let's zoom in over here, and I'm going to now grab a rectangle and create a rectangle right in here. And this is going to be my bottom text area, and I can call it whatever, but I give it a fill. I'll add an effect to it, which is going to be a drop shadow, and this drop shadow is going to have a foreblur, and I can again change this around just so you have it just the way you want it, right? So I'm just going to try to match it or give that little border in the back of it. Now we're going to choose the text you want. Now in the demo video or in the demo setup that you have on your GoBox Studio, it might have a different font. So we are using the Helvetica Nueve font in there. So let's go ahead and write my name right here. Yes, it looks very tiny, but we can adjust that in here. This is just to show what it's going to look like as I design my layout. And then in here you can of course go and change the size of the font. I can also increase the size of the area. If it goes out of bounds, it'll cut off or drop down. So let's go with 64. I think that looks good. And then it's up to you if you want it center aligned or left aligned. Now this little orange thing is actually another rectangle. So I'm going to create another rectangle and drop it right here. This is very simple, very easy, and can simply take it anywhere. So I'm going to choose the yellow color, but now I can change it to whichever color I like. I can take my brand colors and choose those in here. So let's go with a nice red over here. So full on. I'm not going full red, which is F9000, 90,000. I'm going to go come somewhere over here, which is a little darker red. Again, I can control the size of this because I am designing this, and I can make it look however I want. So let's zoom in closer here. Next thing I want is this bottom black bar. So let's go ahead and grab another rectangle and create it right over here. Boom. And this can be a black color. It could be another color. Again, since these are the colors I've used before, it's automatically picked them and displayed them down here. I like this to be probably a 16 pixels. And because it always moves into the right, I have to adjust it and make sure that it fits. So there you have it. I've almost completed the look. I can also extend this down here and to the left so that the shadow is encompassing the entire background of that thing. Now, you might be wondering, hey, where did you get these logos for Instagram and Facebook? Well, this is very easy. To get these icons, there's a website, there's an amazing site called fontawesome.com. Let's head on over to fontawesome.com. And when you arrive to this website, you'll see all of this cool thing. We simply want to click on the search icon up here and type in, let's say, Facebook. Let's start with Facebook. And here we have the Facebook icon right here. And then it gives me the default color. Now, because I am showcasing this on top of a black bar over here, I want it to look and match, or I want it to show through, or I could even make it the color red. So let's go back to this place. They do have this little primary color picker where you can change the color of the icon. I'm going to go ahead and choose a white color and then click on download SVG file. This is going to download the SVG file. I can then go back to my application over here and import this file into here. To import the logo file for your lower thirds, we're simply going to click on this little icon with the square, and then there's an option that says place image / video. I can click on it, and then it'll bring up this dialog box for downloads. Let's go to downloads, grab Facebook SVG, and I can then drop it right here. Now you'll see that it is a huge file, and because this is an SVG, I can change the color of it in here. So let me only select this vector image, resize it to the size I want. Let's color it first. So I said I wanted it to be white. Let's make it white. And you'll notice that as I move these layers, it goes on top of the image that we want to show it. So let's go ahead and resize this. And now I have a circular Facebook logo sitting here. Again, this text is going to be editable inside Ecamm Live, so as well as the text that we'll put down here. So let's do that, make that 24 and change the color to white. And when I put that over here, you'll see that it's in the right place, but it's not showing up because these two rectangles are above this text. So we simply drag this up to the top and we have our thing up here. So I can just update this to my username. And now I have the Facebook icon in white color and my name. If I want this to be the same color as this red bar over here, I can simply choose this section over here, choose the vector part, and make this the same red color. And since we had the red color saved from earlier document, you now have your own custom lower third created. Now what I'm going to do next is simply duplicate it and make sure that they're positioned in this type of setup where it's side by side and the same. You have similar margins on each side, so that when you have the layout of your screen, it matches. So here I'm simply going to duplicate this and I'll say, hey, grab this one. I'll make sure that this is right in the middle, and I can even delete this, bring this together. I actually grouped this whole thing so I can duplicate it by simply clicking Command Alt. Option drag always creates a duplicate, and now I have matching for the frame. The one thing that I didn't mention here and that I always like to do is I like to always have a little layout grid on here which tells me, hey, this is the center of this area, this is the center of this area. And you can do that very simply by creating a rectangle, right? 1920 by 1080, and then simply by using mathematics inside here, I can say divided by 2, And now that is the center, or that is that side. And I can, again, drop it lower and grab my item here. And now it'll say, hey, this is in the center of this box over here. Same way, you can then create a 3-up layout where you now have 3 items. So again, I'm going to go, I'm going to say 1920 divided by 3. And now that is my 3-up layout. And what that means is that I can technically have 3 of these items side by side, showing me, hey, there's now 3 people on this layout. And to adjust, you can simply click on this bottom rectangle, resize it. Need to zoom in. Can resize this. And now this rectangle is almost center. I can also reduce the font size. Again, if you have a designer on staff, or if you have you have designer inclination, this is very easy to do. I just want to make sure to give you all of the tools that we have at our disposal to you so that you can also create these custom layouts for yourself or for your team. Again, since I have this all grouped, I can then move it a little bit to the left so that it's centered into this screen. And now that I've made sure that this matches, guess what I can do? I can delete all of this, and I can duplicate this and duplicate it again. And now I have 3 people up on the screen with each of their custom names. And when I'm exporting, I'm simply going to hide these text fields. I believe I can just click on this eye icon. There you go. So if you click on this little icon for the layer pass-through, it's going to hide all the text. I can then also hide these gray boxes. These are, again, my template boxes. I can rename the frame here. And then I can simply export this as a ping file. And don't forget, you want to make sure that you can actually uncheck this piece right here that says show in export. Let me zoom into that part where it says right here, right under fill, you say show and export. I can uncheck this, click on export with 3 people to my downloads folder. Sure. Now here you can see in the Finder, it is a transparent image with 3 lower thirds for the names for your scenes. And that's it with custom overlays. You have the power to elevate your streams or recordings to the next level. Let your creativity soar, captivate your audience, and leave a lasting impression. Thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial and creating and using custom overlays for GoBox Studio using Figma. Now it's your turn to unleash your creativity and take your content to new heights. Until the next time, happy streaming and content creation.